Do you want to cut quilt pieces faster and more accurately? I'll show you the Fiskars ruler cutter I use and why it's a game changer. These two ruler cutter combos can save you a ton of time, and I mentioned this Fiskars cutter briefly in my last scrappy quilt video, and I wanted to show you the full hack today because it's too good to squeeze into a short. Do you see how clear the markings are? The dark black lines are 1/4 inch increments, and so this is the line we're actually going to cut on. But the 1/4 inch ones run the length of the ruler. They seem clear enough, but when you're cutting a lot, it is easy to get confused, so you can mark if you want to with a pen or a little piece of masking tape. So I'm just laying this on the 4.5 inch line that I plan to cut along, and I'm not going along the whole line, I'm just putting a little bit at the bottom. If you put a long strip of tape, you obscure the line and it just makes it harder for you to see. It's just a tip if you want to do it. This is the second half of the jelly roll and my ruler. And I have to say, I'm not affiliated with Fiskars. I'm just a fan of anything that makes quilting faster and easier. I'm going to make another of the modified scrappy potato chip quilts. So I need to cut the rest of these strips into 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. And this tool is going to make it lightning fast. I've got a few short strips in this jelly roll, just pulling them out. And you know, jelly roll strips, they're 2.5 inches wide pre-cuts, and the length is the width of the fabric, so around 42 inches. And these come already folding in half. So I'm going to take 3 strips here. And I'm carefully matching all the edges and laying them along the cutting board. I'm going to make sure that the edge of the strips lines up with one of the lines on my cutting board. Because they're folded, that gives me 6 layers that I'm going to cut through at once. Now, I think the manufacturer says that you can actually cut up to 12 layers at once, but I'm not going to do that many on camera. I'll just do the 6. I'm happy with that. I guess I'm playing it safe. Now, it is important that you make sure these are all lined up, so take a minute, just make sure it's all sitting just the way you want it. Do you see how I'm following the cutting board line there? Now I'm taking the next 3 strips. I'm laying them the same way, lining them all up really evenly. Now they're all aligned, I'm butting them up against the first set of 3 strips. See how they're all lined up? And this end is the selvage end. And you want to get all the selvages in a row. Then onto the next set of 3. Now just repeat this until all your jelly roll pieces are stacked. Do you get bored cutting out all your little quilt pieces? All my quilting friends, they all complain about this part of the process. It can get boring. Wait till you see how fast this is. This top row, the pieces are a little shorter because I've already cut some off them, but I'm lining them up with the selvage edge just the same, and I'll still just cut as many as I can. So last check, just checking everything's all even, otherwise your rectangles won't be rectangular, though you'll have some odd shapes in there. It is worth taking that just extra moment for that final check. I have my long Fiskars ruler here this time. This one is 6 inches by 24 inches. This orange handle hides a rotary blade. You can see it there underneath. The first thing I need to do is just cut off the selvage. So here's the fun part. I'm getting a straight line down here by just using the cutting mat as my original guide. I start from the bottom, press down on ruler and handle and just slide it along that rail. All the selvages are sliced off. Now I'm going to find the 4.5 inch line here and just line that up with the edge of the fabric where I've just cut it. This is where that piece of masking tape comes in useful. You can quickly see where to place your ruler each time without making a mistake. Just get off the line that you're wanting to cut. That's really true with any ruler that you're using. Do you see how easily that's just cut through them all? And then move them out the way, put your ruler back on the 4.5 inch line, cut again. If you need to slide that knob down to the bottom, just lift the ruler slightly as you do it. It's just so much easier to keep everything steady compared to a separate ruler and rotary cutter, because you know you're pressing straight down. All the pressure is going down on the ruler and down on the cutter. It's holding everything in place. You're not worried about pushing your ruler out of position and cutting in the wrong place. So you just work your way along this, cutting the 4.5 inch segments, and you'll see how fast this goes. In just a few minutes, I've got enough black and white segments for the whole quilt. Now the rest of my quilt is not in jelly roll strips, it's in fabric, fat quarters and just pieces of fabric. And I can still use this, I can still stack those up and slice all the way through them in the same way. It just saves loads of time. Now I don't use this if I'm cutting lots of individual pieces that are all different sizes. That's not using the full advantage. For something like this, where you're cutting a whole lot at once and you can stack them and slice them, it really works well. For a really big variety of small pieces, I'll just use something like this, a regular ruler and rotary cutter. And here, just like that, are all the black and white pieces I need for the quilt. And here's a quick look at what I made with this. It's just exactly the same as the last scrappy quilt, just different colours. I haven't even pressed it yet. Do you have a favourite cutting trick? Let me know in the comments. I hope this makes your quilting easier. If you liked it and want to see more videos, please hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.